Hey everybody, it's Tex out here at the Open Source Summit. I was joined very happily by many open source committee members. We actually did have a chance to have a spotlight from the developer advocates, and I also had the pleasure of being joined by many different builders and developers within the Cardano ecosystem. As this is my third open source summit that I've been to, I can tell you that it absolutely has been the best. I can also tell you that we absolutely have to continue to be at these events, especially looking at Cardano as an open source project. There's tons of immense value. I can't wait for you all to hear what everyone else has shared with me for you, and can't wait to see what further connections we make from Open Source Summit and future summits moving forward. This is definitely the type of non-blockchain event that we need to be at. This has still got a heavy AI focus like most events right now, but it's moving in the right direction, and open source security is still at the forefront. So thanks, and have a great one.
All right. Well, thank you for having me here at the Open Source Summit. My name is Georg Blink. I really enjoy coming here with the Intersect Open Source Committee team. We are having so many great conversations, just talking about what we're doing within our open source committee, developing the programs for the Cardano ecosystem. And there's so many fantastic people here at the Open Source Summit who are deeply embedded in open source. It is so fun to meet people who are building the tools that we use on a daily basis and to see how the sausage is made and to connect with them on a very personal level. Coming here is a really awesome experience. I can recommend that to anyone who is interested in open source in the long term. One of the things that I am taking away from this Open Source Summit 2026 is the impact that artificial intelligence is having on the communities, because people are empowered to do more that they couldn't do before. We have more people coming into open source who can contribute in ways they weren't able to. On the flip side, this is also causing a problem for maintainers and projects because now they have more people, more contributions that they have to manage, and some of them are not well thought through. So, one of the things that I'm seeing here is the conversation is shifting from working in the code to discussing at the requirements level. So, this is a change I'm seeing in open source this year as AI is taking over, and the changes are real and the projects are adapting. It's really fun to be part of this.
All right, so it's great being here at Open Source Summit. We've gone a couple times, and we've met a lot of great community users, holders of ADA, and it's a really awesome event here in Minnesota. And we've met a lot of interesting people. We've shared a lot of cool and interesting things on Cardano, and I've had a really fun time. And I hope that we can do this again.
So my experience here at the Open Source Convention has been exceedingly eye-opening. One is that I had stereotypically put everybody into one category, that all developers, coders knew about crypto or blockchain. That is definitely not the case. Two, open source is absolutely a thing that we need. And how do you then engage those who are thinking about open source and including them into the Cardano ecosystem and developing a new crop or pool of developers that then will assist us into the next stage of Cardano's evolutionary life cycle. So for me, this has been one of the more eye-opening experiences I've had within this particular space, outside of getting to meet all the different people that I have either worked with or met and got to meet for the first time that have been working within Cardano and their passion for this particular space. And it's just given me a lot more energy into thinking about where it is we're going to go and how many dedicated people that we have that are working here for us and the ADA holder. That I think is probably one of the more important things I would think as a takeaway as well. So outside of that, Tex, it's just been an amazing experience, and I want to thank the foundation and the MBO for everything they've done here and allow me to participate or be a part of that.
So great to be here in Open Source Summit. We are blockchain Cardano. We always say we are open source, but this is the place to be where Google, Microsoft, AWS, all the big people, Red Hat, all the big people are here. Great to be among the like-minded people. Great learning. it has been also good flow of the developers here, the open source developers. So I think that's been a very good in kind of interest in us. Yes, at the start it was like, okay, what is Cardano? Because we are the only blockchain here. But I think overall it's been a good traction for them to know that there's a lot of opportunity as a open source developers in Cardano. So good to be here among the like-minded people.
Hello, my name is Marco Russo. I work for Cardano Foundation. And as a main goal from the event, I can say that there is a lot of people, programmers, developers, companies itself, that they don't actually check or know that the blockchain is more than cryptocurrency. It's actually, everyone asks, I would say, like, oh, I don't want to buy cryptos. It's not just crypto. It's much more that we can provide. So maybe we need to change a lot of how we are presenting our product so they can feel attracted to us and they can see that it's much more than just buy some coin, hold it there for a couple of years and see if we get rich. No, they can actually use it on their actual product and maybe we can sit and help them to solve problems that they have at the moment. And we already have the answer for them, but they don't know it and we don't know them yet. So maybe we need to spread more on that part.
Hey everybody, Ian McCullough, also known as Cullah from Auen. Really happy to be here at the Linux Foundation's Open Source Summit. It's kind of a dream come true. As a lifelong nerd and musician, I've been embracing the open source world as a musician, as an open source musician, and seen how it's changed the landscape of all of humanity. And now to be like full circle here in 2026 with the Cardano crew, to be here and see how deeply intertwined these ecosystems actually are, and it's all centered around open source. So it's actually really, like I said, a dream come true, and really awesome to be here with the Cardano community members and get to see how deeply things go in the open source world.
Hello, everyone. I'm at the Linux Foundation Open Source Summit. A huge thank you to Intersect for inviting me to be a part of this. As I've walked around the conference floor here, a few things jump out at me being at the intersection of blockchain and open source. First thing is we really need to get out of our blockchain bubbles, just going to blockchain conferences, talking to people here. A lot of these people are struggling with the ideas of trust, data integrity, open governance, and we've solved a lot of those problems already in blockchain, so it's good to share those with other people and bring it to the forefront. Second, I was very honored to be at Linus Torvalds' talk and see him in person. He was talking about something he posted in a blog post earlier this week about AI and security bugs. And the posture that a security bug discovered by AI is already public. So I think that's a view we need to look into outside of just the Linux kernel, maybe just across all open source projects, that basically any AI generated bug reports, instead of them going through a private bug bounty program, should just be made public right away. And third thing is with the whole topic of AI. AI is really powerful, but it's a whole lot more powerful when it has deterministic inputs. So basically being able to utilize AI rather than having it try to figure things out on its own, giving it deterministic tools that basically gets it the data, so you're less likely to get hallucinations and whatnot. So there's things we can bring in from talking to people here and take them back to our community. And there's also things we can share with the broader community here that we've already solved in the blockchain space. So thank you again, Intersect, for bringing me along for the ride.
All right. So my most important learning here is that even in a tech summit, like, people don't understand what the blockchain is. So I think the best way to get through to people is to understand where they are coming from and then introduce everything as if they know nothing. And that has given me the best results up until now. And I'm super glad I know that fact at this point, so that if I ever go to another summit like this, I know exactly what to do. All right.
Hi, Rani. I'm Sebastian. I'm part of the open source committee member from Intersect. This is an amazing non-blockchain event that is fundamental to try to attend this kind of events is really important because this gives us a better perspective of what's happening in general in the market and in the general technological environment. Me, as part of the open source committee, I can see uh, at first hand what's happening in the general maintainer and developer environment, how we can apply and how we can apply new practices and new measurements and new, in general, new knowledge to the work we are doing in the committee, trying to push forward the Cardano open source program in general. So it's pretty nice. We are the first blockchain project in this kind of non-blockchain event. So we are the pioneers of this kind of initiatives. So thanks.
Hello, reporting from Open Source Summit in North America. I'm Bora from Cardano Foundation. We traveled with the Open Source Committee here today, and for the last 3 days, actually, we have been engaging with the community and new members we haven't met before. I had a lot of high quality conversations, which I enjoyed a lot. It's one of those conferences where you come and learn more than you actually try to teach. It's been a really highly pleasurable time, enjoyable time. um, I think this has high value where we come into these non-Web3 ecosystems and try to get our name and message out, why we do what we do, what is Cardano here for, how can it change the world, and who are the people behind the scenes, how can you interact and get your first issue up, how do you interact with your first community, all of these things. And we are here to try to represent Cardano in the best way possible. It was an amazing event. This is the last day. We also had the chance to attend some of the conversations and the keynotes, which were also really interesting. I actually saw Linus Torvald today for the first time, which was a big bucket list. So yeah, it was an amazing event. I hope we can be here also next year. I think this was well worth our time and efforts. I thank Intersect here again, the open source committee, for putting together and enabling the ecosystem to come together and be here. Um, this is what Cardano needs, I think, in 2026 and from here on onwards, to be the adult in the room, to go to the places where no other blockchain ecosystems dare to go, and have these hard conversations and get the name out there. Yeah.
This is James reporting from the Linux Foundation Open Source Summit 2026. This is not a blockchain event. It's a very good thing. There's a lot of people here who hate crypto. That's a very good thing too. What we're learning is how mature projects talk about the essential stuff they need to get stuff done. And we're finding out how much Cardano still has to grow to have that level of maturity. It's been really good to get feedback from developers asking hard questions, but also who do understand. And well, first of all, let me back up for a second. This whole event has been an AI conference. Okay? AI, everything, it's the thing everybody's talking about. But the corollary to that is that AI, everybody agrees, has eroded trust in one or more ways. And that's turning out to be a very powerful entry point for really good conversations with people, right? We get people to say that they hate crypto. We pat them on the back and say, us too. Then we show them what a blockchain does to help this emerging trust problem that people are just becoming able to name. So I'm really excited to see Cardano maturing. Um, Again, we still have a very, very long way to go. I think we need to listen to the outside world better. A lot of us have, we got some feedback here at the booth uh, from people who we just started talking to, but we didn't ask them any questions yet.
and that was like a microcosm of, in general, what I think one of the problems with Cardano is, right? Like, we're very proud to be building on Cardano. Awesome, right? But it's not a reason for being, right? And we're starting to leave behind the cult of personality, but we still have a long way to go. And the way we fix that is by asking people questions first, by going to events like this and asking people questions first, figuring out how we're going to connect with them, and then having a real conversation where we show that we're listening to the outer world rather than staring at our own feet.
All right. So Adam Dean out here at the Open Source Summit 2026 in Minneapolis. It's been a great couple of days talking to a ton of people that are in the open source and Linux world. It's been really interesting realizing how early we still are, because a lot of people don't even know what a blockchain is, let alone crypto, and how we could use it to actually improve the world. So tons of great talks about AI, data security, supply chain security, particularly poignant here. So it's been really productive, and I hope we see Cardano represented at more of these non-crypto trade shows to really get the name out there and know Cardano's the blockchain you can build on when you need trust and security.